So today we are finding slope from a graph. So go ahead and throw your name on here. These will get glued in. So slope is essentially the steepness of a line. So the steepness of a line is called its slope. Today we are just going to be finding slope when it is already on a graph. So we're going to be looking at a graph and finding what the slope of that graph is. So here is the steps to do that. We'll either be given the graph or we'll be given 2 points on the line. If we haven't been given, or if the 2 points aren't already graphed yet, we need to graph them first. So here's a quick little reminder: when you are graphing an ordered pair, your ordered pair comes in the order X, Y. X tells you how far left or right to go. Y tells you how far up or down to go. Once you get your ordered pairs graphed, and connect them into a line, we are then ready to find the slope. And sometimes they'll just already be graphed for you. So when we are finding a slope, we are always going to start from the left. We need to pick a direction so we are all going in the same common direction, or else positives and negatives get really confusing. So always start from the left side. Just like we read from left to right, we're reading slopes from left to right. The first thing that you are going to look at is from left to right, how far your line either rises or falls. If you are going up, it's rise, and it's going to be positive. If you are going down as you look at a line from left to right, your slope is going to be negative. Okay, after you find your rise, you're then going to find your run. So when we think of slope, we've heard the phrase rise over run. We do our rise goes on top, our run goes on the bottom. So, and then I have a little note there, we will always run to the right because we are starting on the left and we will go to the right. M equals our slope, so the letter M will always stand for slope this unit. M equals slope, and our slope formula when doing it from a graph is just rise over run. When I write this, I'm going to spell the word rise wrong. I'm going to spell it with a Y. I'll tell you why. I'm actually going to put run right. So I'm going to put rise over run right. I'm going to spell the word rise wrong. The reason why I spelled the word rise wrong when I write down the slope formula is it's a nice little reminder that our y's go on top. So our y's go on top and our x's go on bottom. Up and down is on top, rise. Left and right is on bottom. Okay, so there's all just of our general info. I'm going to show you just a sketch of all 4 different types of slope that we might have. And then we are going to find our slope on a couple. And then your assignment's literally 8 problems long because the graphs take up a ton of space. Okay, so we have 4 types of slope. The most common 2 that you are going to see are positive and negative. So a positive slope, as we look at the line from left to right, it is going to be going up. So it may be really steep going up, it may be really flat going up, but it's at least going up. A negative slope, as we go from left to right, is going to be going down. And again, it could be as steep or as flat, but if the left side is higher than the right side, then your slope is negative. Okay, then our 2 special slopes are a slope of 0 So if I have a slope of 0, that is a straight side-to-side horizontal line. I'm going to get a slope of 0 when I have a fraction, when my rise is 0, and then my run can be any number. Because 0 divided by anything is just 0. Okay? And then an undefined slope is a straight up and down line. And the reason why it's undefined is my rise is any number, because I am definitely going up from here to here. My run is 0. If I have a number over 0, I can't do that. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. Cross that out. That can't happen. Okay. Any questions right now about what we've seen so far before we actually put it on a graph? Okay, let's go put it on a graph then. So down below here, our first two examples are already graphed for us. So I put little dots on the corners of where they cross perfectly so you can know the points that you're counting between. We are going to be looking from left to right. So we can pick any 2 points. So I can either pick these 2 points or these 2 points. Pick 2 points that are next to each other, because otherwise you're going to automatically have to reduce a fraction if you don't do that. So I'm going to use this point right here and this point right here. I start at the one on the left, and I need to count how far up I go. So I always draw a little triangle to the left of my line. And I go up 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So my rise is 4. You have to count the spaces, not the lines. Because if you count the lines, you're always going to be off by 1. Then I go to the right just 1 space. So my slope here is 4 over 1, or 4 divided by 1 is just 4. Both of these would be acceptable answers. Okay, this next one, when I see this graph, is this slope positive or negative? Negative. So if I look, and I'm looking from left to right, we would be going down a slide, not up a mountain. So I'm going to pick any 2 points. So I can pick these 2, or these 2, or these 2. Let's do these 2 down here. And I am going to go down and to the right. So when I draw my triangle, I always draw it on the left side. So down and to the right. So it looks like I go down 1, 2. So that's my rise, is actually me falling 2. So it's negative 2. Over my run, which is 1, 2, 3. So my slope is negative 2/3. Okay. Any questions about either of those? Okay. Flip this over then. On the back, the setup's a little bit different. We are going to tell you 2 ordered pairs. You have to graph those 2 ordered pairs and then find your slope. So it says, given the points -1, 2, and -1, 6. So I'm going to graph those 2 points. So -1, 2. That's my x and then y. So x tells me -1, so I start at 0, 0, and I go left 1, and then my y is 2, so I go up 2. So left 1, up 2, put a dot. My other point is -1, 6, so I'm going to go left 1, up 6. So left 1, up 6, start at 0, 0 every time. And I'm going to connect those 2 points. Okay, what kind of line is this? Undefined. So this line is going straight up and down. If I were to go count my rise, I would go up 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4, and then my run is 0. So I would have 4 over 0. I cannot divide by 0, not allowed. So I write down for my slope undefined. You can write U and D. All that good. Okay. Sorry, I'm messaging Mr. Hasselbeck. Hey, last one. -5, 4. So I start at 0, 0. I need to go left 5, up 4. And then -3, -2. So I go left 3, down 2. Okay. We're going to connect these. I can already tell I have a negative slope because I'm going down as I look from left to right. I'm going to draw myself a nice little triangle. Beep, beep, because it just gives me a nice little place to count. And then I have to count the spaces, not the lines, the spaces. So I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my rise is -6. My run, I go to the right 1, 2 spaces. So I've got -6 over 2. What can I do with that fraction? I can simplify it. So I can divide -6 and 2 both by 2, and I can have -3 over 1. Or I can just divide it out and have -3. On this one, either of these would be acceptable answers. -3 over 1 or -3 are acceptable answers. If you leave it as -6 over 2, I'm going to write -0.5 point, reduce. Okay, questions right now. All right, because announcements were actually, here, let me pause the video because this doesn't apply to people who are watching the video later. Bye, video. Nice seeing you.